Okay, so this video is going to be part two. We're going to go ahead and continue on about how to choose the best credit repair company for you. Um, and in the last video, what we did, we ended with budgeting. Okay, so what I wanted to piggyback on that first video was budgeting should be the first thing that you get in order before you even worry about your credit. Because if you don't have your budget in order, you're going to fall behind. You're going to have to go through program over and over and over again. I see it too many times, and my job, my goal is to get you where you need to be, where you want to be, right? So I'm gonna continue doing what it is that I do, right? I'm gonna continue helping, but I'm gonna push you, and that's my job. I'm gonna be your coach, right? I'm coaching you. I'm gonna educate you on what it is that you need to do, but you have to follow these rules. It's not necessarily a rule, but it's advice, right? I can't say go do this and expect you to go do that. The only thing I can do is I can lead you in the right direction to help you get to where you need to be. Like you're going to tell me what you want, and I'm going to lay out the roadmap on how to get there, right? So you tell me what your goals are, and I'm going to help you reach them, and I'm going to help coach you. I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to ask you, what are you doing different now than you were doing before we got started, right? So that's what it is that I do, right? That's why I'm different than pretty much any credit repair company out there. I don't think anybody in credit repair is going to go up against the things that I help my clients with, right? Because my ultimate goal is to help each and every single one of my clients. I treat them as a VIP, right? I'm going to go over all of the information with them of what it is that they need to do. I'm not just going to send letters and make you pick a dispute reason because, like I said in the first video, in my opinion, it's not your job to know what you're disputing, right? When you go to these companies and they have these cookie cutter dispute reasons as far as why you're disputing an item, you know that the account doesn't belong to me, right? That's not credit repair, okay? What we need to do is we need to base our disputes on facts, right? The fact is that the Fair Credit Reporting Act states that if an item is reported on your credit report, that it must be accurate, verifiable, and reported within the allotted time frame. That's the facts. So if anything is falling outside of the facts, then that's a reason to dispute that information. You don't have to lie about things to try to get things removed. You don't need to file false Federal Trade Commission affidavit stating that you're a victim of identity theft and have no clue of how this account got on your credit report, right? Give me 1 second. You don't have to do these things. You don't, right? And I'm here to help educate you because if you have the knowledge, at least that way you can make an educated decision. But without knowing what it is that you want, you're just going to be dealing with a salesperson who's going to walk you through their sales funnel. And then once you're a client, they're going to forget about you, right? That's not what it is that I want to do. And that's not what it is that you deserve. So I say all of this because I'm here to help you get to where you want to be, right? I see too many people go through things that I can't believe, right? You know, they go through a credit repair company and they're not educated on how credit actually works. But when you work with me, I'm going to help you understand the FICO pie chart, if you will. You know, there's 5 sections of a FICO credit score. Do you know what those are? Okay. And I'll go ahead and let you know. Its payment history is 35%. Credit utilization is 30%. You might call it credit usage. 15% for credit history. New credit and credit mix are each 10%, equals that 100%. So although we're working on the 35% for that negative payment history, there's still a whole 65% that you need to deal with, and that comes with education, right? You can't go out and try to apply for credit all over the place and expect that you're going to get approved. You know, if the first place is turning you down, there must be a reason why. So why do people continue applying for credit with different companies when they were denied at the first place, right? You have to strategically apply for credit when it is your right time to apply. So I don't want people going out just to apply, right? Because it's going to affect the new credit section of your FICO score, right? And that's up to 55 points. So you're losing points by doing these types of things. So with education will come the knowledge of how to do things properly, okay? Now, a lot of times, I'd probably say at least 80% of the time, my clients will be recommended to start a credit building blueprint that we provide for them. It's giving them companies that they can apply for credit, right? And they are subprime accounts. We understand, but we also understand that they're in a position that they won't qualify for American Express or Discover, things like that, different Visa and MasterCards from like Citibank or something like that. They're not going to get approved. So why is somebody going to go and apply for those type of credit cards when they won't get approved? We know they're not going to get approved. You're in the 500s. You're not going to get approved. You need like 690 or better, right? I always say to make sure it's at least reporting a 700 before you even go apply for those type of cards, right? But if you follow the steps that we provide, then it's only going to help benefit you in the long run, right? Because we want you to do things strategically, okay? Now, if a company that you're going to deal with is not going to take you by the hand, walk you by the hand, and teach you these things, then why are you going to deal with that type of company? If they're not going to explain to you the importance of a budget and how a budget actually works, and kind of like walk you through those things. I'm at the point right now where I'm probably going to move away from our credit repair program and focus mainly on a money coach, right? Because that's where people are having their issues at, right? They're spending more than they're bringing in. And that's where if you put a budget together, you're going to be able to see these types of things with your own eyes, right? If you see that you're bringing in 3,000 but you're spending 3,200, there's a deficit of 200. How can you make up that difference? There's different ways. You can join an MLM, multi-level marketing company, to try to bring that in. You can get a side hustle like Uber Eats or Drive Uber or Lyft or something like that. There's all types of things that you can do to help bring in extra income to help bridge that gap, right? So the purpose of me going over this and trying to help you understand what it is that I want for you is basically so that you're educated when you go try to choose a credit repair company. What exactly is it that they're going to do for you? Okay. Are they going to address all of the issues that come around credit, or are they going to just send out a dispute letter to the bureaus and then call it a day? And every 30 days they're going to go ahead and send out a new letter, right? That's not what credit repair is, one, right? I mean, yes, we do have to go through a process of sending out a dispute, challenging the information of how it's being reported on a credit report using different types of laws, such as the Fair Credit Reporting Act, Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, Fair Credit Billing Act. There's tons of different laws that we use when we're dealing with credit repair, right? But we also have to focus on the other 4 sections of that pie chart, right? So credit repair is dealing with 35%. 65%, we're going to help educate you, but we also need you to work towards hitting your goals. And that does come with additional income, additional funds that need to be paid out. You will have to get secured credit cards. That's an expense. You have to put the money down, and that's going to act as collateral, right? If you have credit cards that are maxed out, you're going to have to pay it off. If you don't pay it off, your scores won't increase. There's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing anybody can do about it. I always recommend that you put all of your accounts on automatic bill pay. By doing that, that's going to help you build up your score, right? Because now you're no longer receive those late payments. You know, a lot of times people say, well, what happens if I don't have the money to cover the payment? Well, that's going to bring you back to your budget, right? And, and that's why I focus so hard on the budget. Because if you don't have the budget in check, I keep saying it over and over and over again. And the reason why is because that's why people fall behind in the first place, is because they miss that first payment, right? It takes 30 days before you get the 30-day late after that due date, right? So if you're due January 1st for a payment, January 31st is 30 days. Now you got a late payment. And there's things that you can get around it. You know, if you can't make a payment, call the creditor. Ask them, hey, is there anything I can do to skip this month's payment without receiving a late payment? You know, I fell on hard times, you know, COVID. I don't know. Whatever the case is, you want to reach out before. You want to be proactive rather than reactive, right? And I continue to say it, and I'll continue to say it. You have to get in front of the issues. Get in front of the problem before it happens. And that's why I'm going to come back to your budget. You know, I ask all of my clients, like, do you have a written budget in place, right? Most people don't have a written budget in place. Of the few people who say they have a budget, they have their budget, I ask if it's written, and they've all said no, right? Maybe a few have said yes. And then I ask them how often do you update your budget, right? How often are you checking, right? And most people don't know. So if you're going to go to a company who's going to work on your credit to try to help you, make sure they're going to help you, right? Make sure they're going to give you the attention that your profile needs, right? And again, it all starts with the budget, right? If you don't have your budget in order, don't even start a credit repair program because it's not for you yet, right? Now, everything has a time and a place, but before you start working on your credit, work on your budget. I promise you, if you do this, it's only going to work out for the best for you, okay? I've been in this industry for over 20 years, and I know what I know, right? Until you see the things that I've seen over the years and thousands of clients that I've helped, you'll understand yourself, you know, but you haven't, right? They say it takes 10,000 hours to become a professional at something, right? To become an expert, right? I've been doing this for far more than 10,000 hours, quadruple that, and that's where I'm at, right? So the reason why I'm so passionate about this is because I want to help you, right? I was in your shoes. I promise you, I was in your shoes before. And if you just take heed and listen to the things that I'm saying, watch the video over and over again, because you might catch something that you didn't see the first time or the second time. Watch it and rewatch it and rewatch it again if you have to. Drop a comment and ask your questions so I can make a video, or I can reach out to you, or you can reach out to me. I'm going to leave in the description below, I'm going to leave a link that you can go ahead and you can schedule an appointment with me, and I'll go over, schedule a 15-minute call with me. I'll answer any questions that you have. So that way you could at least get some type of understanding of how we differentiate ourselves from other credit repair companies out there, right? You will never, ever hear another credit repair company talking about your budget. At least I haven't yet. And I know for a fact the big companies, they're not doing it, right? They're having you pick your dispute reasons, you know, and that's not your job. You know, you go to a company for them to do the work for you, right? When you work with us, we're going to do that 35% for you. That's us. That's what we do, right? But there's 65% that we need you to focus on yourself, right? We'll educate you. We'll give you the know-how, the knowledge that you need to know, and we'll give it to you over and over and over and over again because we want it to sink into your head, right? We want, you know, if you continually and repetitiously receive information and you start to read it and learn it and understand it, then it becomes second nature. And you're like, hey, yes, I got all my accounts set up on automatic bill pay. That's the first thing you need to do, right? Set everything up on automatic bill pay. Now you're never going to be late, right? Second thing, actually, first thing is a budget. That would be the second thing. right? Get your budget written down. And this is how I recommend you start a budget. Take your last 3 to 6 months, preferably 6 months, but if you don't want to do that much work, do 3 months. 3 months worth of all of your bills. Okay, I'm talking about your electrical bill, your water bill, your rent or mortgage, insurances, whatever type you might have, car payments, gas, groceries, cable, cell phone, every single thing, at least 3 months. Get all those statements and do an average, right? Add up all the bills, 3 months, add up what it equals, and divide that by 3. Now you have your average for the past 3 months, okay? Then you're going to take 3 months worth of your paycheck stubs, and you're going to see what you brought home. I don't care how much you make an hour, because that's not what you bring home. If you're making $20 an hour and you're bringing, that's not $800 that you bring home after a 40-hour pay period. You don't bring home $800 because they take out taxes, right? And are you paying the proper amount in taxes? Are you overpaying in taxes? What can you do to kind of mitigate the overpaying or underpaying? Like when you file your taxes every year, do you get a refund or are you paying? You're doing one or the other, or are you breaking even? If you're breaking even, that's perfect. If you're overpaying, that means you're giving the government an interest-free loan. Now, I don't know of any bank that you can go to and get a loan and they're going to give it to you at 0%. If you have great credit, you might be able to go buy a car with 0%, right? Depending on what you're getting, right? I had great credit. I went and bought a Corvette and they tried to give me 4.9 at Chevy, right? At the GM Bank. And I was like, no, that's extremely high, right? So I went to my credit union and got 2.9. So there's things that you have to do. You have to do your due diligence. You have to educate yourself. You have to do what it takes, right? Don't depend on the next person to do what it is that you should be doing for yourself, because nobody's going to look out for number one but number one, right? So you do what you have to do, right? Don't depend on the next person to do what it is that you should be doing. So, getting back to how to choose the proper credit repair company for you, if they're not doing these types of things, if they're not educating you, if they're not doing more than just going to the credit bureaus with a dispute, if they're not doing more than reviewing your credit report and seeing exactly what's on there, because a lot of these companies, they'll have you go get a free account for credit monitoring, but it's only monitoring. Like I know a lot of companies will use Experian.com. Experian.com is very good. They'll give you a credit score. They'll give you everything that's on your credit. I like it. However, it's only one credit bureau. You still got Equifax and TransUnion, right? And sometimes companies will say, well, we'll go to Credit Karma. Credit Karma doesn't give you all the information, so now you're limited to what you actually have. They don't even give an account number. So how are you going to count on these companies when they're not really doing what's best for you in your best interest, right? So I'm here, right? Use me, reach out to me, because the only thing I can do is I can help answer your questions. If you want to get started, if you're a good fit, because not everybody is a good fit. To give you an example, I spoke with a potential client yesterday, called into our offices, and she's been with a company, very large company. I'd say the largest credit repair company in the country, right? And she's been with them over a year and said that they're not really doing anything for her, but she's continually paying them. I spent a good amount of time with her on the phone and gave her so much information that she didn't know what to do with it, and I believe at the end of the call, she started crying because she saw the passion that we have. And I told her, I said, hey, I'm not going to take your money because your money doesn't need to be taken. You can use that money and put it somewhere that's going to work better for you and your family, right? Because that's why I got into this. because my finances were screwed up. I didn't have a budget, didn't know what it was, didn't know how to do it, didn't know what credit was, didn't know how to use it, right? Because this stuff isn't taught in schools. I think that's a crime, right? It should be a crime. Like that stuff, it's like elementary stuff that should be taught. That anybody who graduates from high school should have this knowledge, because when you go to college, then you start applying for credit, and credit card companies are throwing credit at students, right? Getting them when they're young. You know, you're 18 years old, applying for a credit card, and you get a credit card, and you're going to go max it out. I see it over and over and over again. I was there when I was that age. So I know how it works. Like I said, I've been in this industry for over 20 years. So it's a long time. It's not like I don't have skin in the game. I've been doing this for quite some time. Okay. So, you know, all I can say is I'm here for you. If you want to ask questions, reach out to me. I'm definitely going to go ahead and answer any questions that you have. I really highly suggest leave some comments below if you have questions. So that way, because you might have the same question somebody else has, right? And if you have it, you know, like when we're in school, they say the only dumb question is the question that's not asked. So don't think it's too dumb because we're not taught this stuff in schools. Like, tell me when you were ever taught anything about a FICO score or how credit usage works, right? Or what the impact of having a missed payment or a charge-off is. Or what does a collection mean? What is a dunning notice that you receive from a collection agency? All of these things are things that they don't teach us. They don't teach us the ramifications that it's going to have on us financially and how long that's going to affect us, right? So when we're trying to get ahead in life, right, we're going to school, we're getting student loans. You get these student loans, and I see people paying for them for 10, 15, 20 plus years, right? What are you doing? How are you going to get ahead of this? It comes down to the budget, folks. If you budget properly and see more money at the end of the month, you're in a good position. But if you see more month at the end of the money, that's when you need to really figure things out. Like, what are you going to do to switch things up? You know, it might mean that you have to move to a less expensive place, right? I've done it, right? It might mean that instead of going to buy a brand new car, you're going to have to buy a used car, not even a used car off the lot because it costs too much. You might have to go to, I don't know, Facebook Marketplace and find a used car, you know, for $4,000 or $5,000 just to get you from point A to point B so you can start stacking your money up, right? So you can start paying these bills off, so you can start properly building your credit profile, right? There's a lot of things that you need to do, but it starts with that budget. It starts with the budget. And I know I've said it so many times in this video alone. And if you watch my other videos, you'll see it in those videos as well. But the reason why I go over it over and over and over again is because the importance it's going to have on your financial future, right? Why do we continue to give banks our money for nothing? You know, because we're lazy. That's what it comes down to, laziness. Like when I was a kid, we went outside and we played, right? But the new generation, when they're a kid, they're playing video games. They don't really go outside and play, right? So there's been a major shift, you know, in the world that we live in, right? How much time do you spend on social media per day, right? What if you took some of that time and you read a book in regards to budgeting, in regards to credit, right? There's things that I'm trying to, in a roundabout way, teach you on how to do, right? Whether you're a client of mine or not, my ultimate goal is just to help you financially, even if it's just giving you some words of advice, okay? So with that being said, if you're looking at trying to get with a credit repair company, just make sure that they're after your best interests. Make sure that you're going to have somebody that you can speak with if you have questions after you begin the program. You know, that's the most important thing. I know a lot of people go to these major companies, and once they get past that first salesperson and they become the client, then it's damn near impossible to get with a customer representative on the phone afterwards, right? And why are you having to send out your own dispute letters, right? It doesn't make sense, folks. So again, my name is Fred. Just wanted to make this video. I know it was long, it was drawn out, and I talked a lot. Probably rambled a lot, but the reason why is because I care. I care about you. I care about your family. I care about what you're able to do financially for your family. Whether it's a lot or little, I'd rather the little bit that I have been able to help you with will help you make better and sound decisions. And if nothing else, start working on your budget today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a video for you to go ahead and watch. Just click on it. It's going to be right here, right here. It's going to be somewhere, probably on the left side of the screen. I'm going to leave a video on how to do a zero-based budget. So that way you kind of have an idea of how to at least start a budget and how the money should be placed. So that being said, if you have any questions or concerns or comments, leave some in the comments below. You know what I'm saying? Give me a thumbs up if this hits you in any way positive. If you didn't like the video, let me know that too. You know, because sometimes people don't like what I have to say. You know, because I'm going to tell you what you need to know. You might not like to hear what I got to say, but I'm going to give you the facts. I'm going to give you some game, and it's up to you whether you want to play the game or not, because I'm going to give you the game. And I hope that you run the plays, because if you do, in the long run, it's going to work out for you. So you have a good day.